Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. I have a new series I want to start where I basically am doing like a podcast, but it's in my video format for YouTube, and then I'll probably upload it to Spotify. If you're listening to it on Spotify, then you already know. But I really wanted to start getting a little more into my actual interest and passions, and I'm really passionate about sharing advice. I've always wanted to give advice and I'm really good at it, I feel like. Humble brag. I really wanted to start a series and start off this episode with sharing my experience as a young creative and getting started with it. I know there's a lot of people that want to get their foot in the door but literally have no idea where to start, and I feel like I have a lot of credibility now because I have managed over the past few months to gain upwards of 13,000 followers, and also have, I think it's 3 different videos that hit millions of views. And I'm not saying that to brag, I'm saying that to say it's definitely possible and anybody can do it. You just literally have to start. So today's episode is advice from a young creative and just starting. I took a lot of inspiration from Emma Chamberlain's podcast, and I just want it to be very cozy and comfy. I just got out the shower. I literally did my whole everything shower, and after this I'm going to bed, but I really just want to get started with this. And ironically, this episode is about just starting, and so I have been postponing this video for maybe 2 months now, and I'm so over it. I'm just gonna film it and put it out there, and hopefully it helps one of you guys. So if you're feeling stuck as a young creative and just don't even know where to start or how to start, then this video will be for you. I have a couple things written down that I want to talk about, and the first one being to trust your ideas. Write them down, don't overlook them. If something comes to you, don't just kind of make a mental note. I mean, unless you have really good memory, but I would highly recommend that you have some place that you put all of your ideas, because your mind is constantly going. So ideas will come and go, and you can forget something that you thought maybe was a really good idea. And so I would recommend either writing them down or maybe having some notes in your phone or a journal for it specifically. And even if it's on sticky note or wherever you have the chance to write it, make sure you're writing your ideas down. Whatever way helps for you to memorize it without just leaving it in your brain, because you will forget it. Unfortunately, most of the time the brain is just constantly thinking of stuff and it will be forgotten, and that sucks because you literally are receiving a download. The way I see it, it's a download from the universe or whatever source you want to think of. It's given to you, and it's up to you to either remember it and bring it to life, or it's just kind of gone in the wind. And it's not coincidental either that you are receiving that idea at that moment. It's meant for you to register, oh, actually, that's pretty good. And when you write down your ideas, you have more room to allow more thoughts in. And I think that's even better than having to be oh, okay, I got this idea, I need to remember it. When you write it down, you can forget about it because it's already written down, and then you'll have space for other ideas rather than, I need to remember this idea, and then you can't even have new ideas because you're stuck being I need to remember this one. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's number 1. Really trust your ideas and write them down. The second thing that I want to talk about is overcoming fear. This one is a big one because a lot of people have this social interaction anxiety where it boils down to not wanting to be perceived. At the end of the day, you just really need to do what makes you happy, what makes you fulfilled, what you enjoy doing, because this is your life, first of all, and your audience that is meant for your content will find you. It's inevitable that there will be some people that perceive you in maybe a negative way, but your audience that will perceive you in the way that you want to express yourself, they will see you for what you're trying to do. So I really do think that the fear of being perceived and having this social interaction anxiety, you have to just take a step forward and be you know what, I'm just going to do what makes me happy. I'm going to do what fulfills me, and that's really all that matters. An example of this is recently I had made a Shein haul that I literally filmed all of it, and once I sat down to edit it, I did not want to edit at all. I did not have any joy from it whatsoever, and so I deleted the video and I ended up filming another one that was related to a current interest of mine, which is sewing. I ended up making a sewing vlog. I went and got some fabrics, and I really didn't care that usually, like, I've posted a Shein haul before and it did well, and I just didn't care. And I did have some fear about me being like, okay, I'm gonna post this like fashion blog and nobody's gonna want to watch it. Nobody cares that this is what I'm into. I care. So I posted it and I edited it. And when I was editing, the way I know if I like something is when I'm editing, if I'm enjoying like watching it and, you know, making it into a video. If I enjoy that, then I know, okay, this is what resonates with me right now. And I kind of take that as my guideline. Like if I'm not enjoying editing the whatever content I create, then I probably didn't like it that much. Another thing about overcoming fear is just relinquishing the control. It doesn't matter. Like, just do what you want to do, post what you want to post, create, period. Create what you want to create. Like, if you can do that, that is what it's about as a young creative. So whatever you are passionate about as a young creative, that's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be starting to consider, well, how are other people going to see this? They don't care, blah, blah, blah. Like, it doesn't matter. If that's what you like to do, that's what you like to do. I promise you there is an audience for everything. I saw this quote in a YouTube video that I really liked, and I want to share this with you because it inspired me. It's from Max Lucado in his book, Fearless, Imagine Your Life Without Fear. And it goes, when fear shapes our lives, safety becomes our God. When safety becomes our God, we worship the risk-free life. Can the safety lover do anything great? Can the risk-adverse accomplish noble deeds? For others, no. The fear-filled cannot love deeply. Love is risky. They cannot give to the poor. Benevolence has no guarantee of return. The fear-filled cannot dream wildly. What if their dreams sputter and fall from the sky? The worship of safety emasculates greatness. That last line, the worship of safety emasculates greatness, it's so true. Like, you have to get out of your comfort zone. It's just so inevitable that you will have to be uncomfortable to grow, and any new experience is obviously going to be uncomfortable because sometimes you're not good at it right away, and sometimes you underhype your ability to do something, and really you're maybe well above and beyond able to, and you just kind of like, we just have this inner critic, you know what I mean? So just relinquishing that control and just being like, it doesn't matter. Let me get out of my comfort zone. Let me try something new. I promise you, it's life-changing. It always is life-changing. You really just have to make the first step to open the world of opportunities that align with you. So what we just went over was before even posting. This was the contemplating and the overanalyzing of, should I even start? What if they think something of me? Blah, 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 that kind of stuff. Now we're getting into actually having the content, posting the content, and sharing it. Let's say you posted something and it didn't do as well as you thought it would, which has happened to me plenty of times. And it can be discouraging being like, oh, wow, like I really thought that was going to do a lot better, and your audience just doesn't really receive it that well. That's okay. It's literally okay. It's all a growing experience. You will have more than one piece of content that doesn't do that well. It's like I think it's Van Gogh. I can't remember the artist, but they had like 1,000, or I might be getting this so wrong, but they had like 1,000 art pieces and only like 100 of them are actually popular or famous. Like, it's basically like that. You can have 1,000, 2,000 videos out and only like 100 of them do well, and that's enough. That's enough to grow an insane audience, to build a really good community. Like, it's enough. So don't expect every single thing that you post to go viral, be the best piece of content ever. And this could apply to even when you're launching like a small business and you have a product that you think is going to do really well and maybe it doesn't, and so you post another product and maybe that one does really well. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think a big part of it is also when, let's say you're starting and you've never edited a video in your life, maybe it's not that great at first. Even if you've watched tutorials and stuff, like, you acquire the skills that you need once you're actually like doing what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you're actually in the process of it is when you acquire the skills that you need. That's the only way to learn. That's not the only way to learn, but that's the only way that you can really pick up on those, through experience. Experience is key. And the only way to get experience is to continue through the process, which leads to my next point, which is have fun when you're creating. For me, I used to try to plan out my content, and sometimes I still try to do it to this day. Sometimes it works, and sometimes I'm like, I can't follow that whole schedule you got going on, girl. Like, I need to just do what I feel like doing, because sometimes I wake up and I want to do something completely different. And I think as a creative, it's better to follow whatever you wake up feeling like doing that day, which that may work for some people and not others, but at least for me, it definitely does work. If I feel like editing and I don't have the energy to like have that camera presence, then I'm just gonna edit. Like, it's no biggie. I don't have to follow that schedule. So if you're just making content for fun, then you have a lot of leniency to just kind of be like, oh, well, I just want to do this day. And I personally do that. But if you want to treat it more like a business, and actually get some, tangible growth off of this, then yeah, obviously you'll need like a strategy. And any business will need a strategy. You could definitely get a social media strategy. I can go into that in a separate video, because there's definitely different methods to it, but you could definitely have a social media strategy, and maybe you could find yourself somewhere in the middle where it's like loosely held, which is where I find myself. So I'll have my schedule, and if I follow it, I follow it. If I don't, at least I'm posting something and I'm getting something done. And it's not like it's a working task, but I have to show up for myself in that creative space, because nobody's paying me to do that. I just want to do that. I feel like if you're more multifaceted, then yeah, you need to be able to like structure your day a little better. And if you want to make time for more than one passion that you have, you are more likely to be the one that has like some sort of schedule. So for me, I really like makeup, I really like hair stuff, like anything beauty related, but I also really like fashion and sewing, and I also really like painting and art. So I have to distribute my energy and time wisely amongst all of those if I want to get those done, so I don't feel like I'm all over the place. And in return, when I don't feel like I'm all over the place, I can allow myself to just be a creative instead of being stressed, because I feel like that definitely affects your ability to be creative. The next thing I want to get into is being process driven rather than outcome driven. I think this is super important to really remind yourself to enjoy the process. It is entirely about the journey rather than the destination. People want to see your journey. It's just such a known thing, I feel like now. I mean, I'm gonna let y'all know if you didn't know. People want to see your journey. They don't want to just see you with the like amazing life at the end. I mean, maybe that's like your aesthetic niche, but like people want to see the journey, the process, because it's way more relatable, it's way more real and authentic. I think a huge part of being a creator is having a sense of like authenticity to you and being raw and sharing the process. It's literally all about the process. There's a quote from one of my favorite songs. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm pretty sure it's Miro or Miro. It's from, I don't know how to pronounce the artist name either, Berlioz and Ted Jasper. This is like the beginning phrase of the song, and I love this quote so much. This is how it goes. It's inevitable that you will meet a failure, or two, or three, or four. At the same time, the art itself, the product of that obsession, that obsessed kind of way of working, is the paradigm for all that is free and spontaneous. What I love about that quote is that it suggests having so much patience for yourself, because success does not come overnight. We all know this. Success does not come overnight. And if it does, for the lucky few, good for them. But for the majority of us, success literally never comes overnight. That's just not how it works. There will always be struggles and discouragements that people face as creatives and like being an artist. And so it's such an important thing to have perseverance and to really remember that this is all a part of the process and the journey, and it's inevitable that you will have failures and also success. They just go hand in hand. It's how we know the difference between what a success is because we've had failure. Do you see what I'm saying? The next part is about believing in yourself, and this part is super important. I mean, all of them have been, but this part is very crucial because let's say you're finally posting and you're being consistent, and now you're starting to get these feelings of imposter syndrome and limiting beliefs about yourself, and that can make you stop abruptly. That will pull you out the game so quick. Unfortunately, it happens to a lot of people where they just quit content creation because they get those symptoms. A lot of people, including myself, have struggled with limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome. And if you don't know what either of those are, limiting beliefs is saying, I can't do this, I can't learn a new skill, I can't do this, I can't blah blah blah. Basically, you're limiting yourself and your ability to do something or be something simply just because you believe you can't, which is crazy that your mind has that power, but it does. And so easily enough, you could just flip the switch and be the opposite of that and start telling yourself, I can learn a new skill, I am capable of blank blank blank. It's a pretty simple switch, but it's a conscious effort to make that decision and tell yourself every day. It's very important that you have affirmations as well. I love I am affirmations. They do it for me every time. Every time I feel so capable afterwards because I am capable of anything. The next would be imposter syndrome, which I feel like I get pretty often still, unfortunately. The limiting beliefs I'm pretty okay with. I feel confident in my ability to like learn new things. With imposter syndrome, it's really a constant practice of reminding myself I do deserve good things. I do deserve the platform that I have right now. I do deserve the followers that have followed me because of the content that I put out. It's very interesting feeling having imposter syndrome, and I know a lot of celebrities as well have that same thing. So I'm like, is it really ever gonna go away? It's a really weird feeling of like, I don't deserve this, even though you so clearly do. And it's a daily practice, I guess it would really be, because I don't really have great advice on how to get over it besides reminding yourself you deserve everything that comes your way, every opportunity, every success, every new follower, every like, every positive interaction. You deserve that. Why wouldn't you? It's like, it's pretty simple, but it is definitely something that just always circles back like, I don't actually deserve this. This is too good to be true. Like, but it's not. I guess a reality check would be to really just remind yourself, I am deserving. And back to the affirmations, I think they're super important. You are deserving. Like, you deserve every success coming your way because you are going to have many. It's just a matter of telling yourself that, because I guess nobody else really is telling you that. And I'm so fortunate that my audience has shared those comments with me, and that has helped a lot. But you won't always get those, and at first I wasn't getting them, you know what I mean? And I was still trying to be consistent and post. So once you do get some sort of success, it's like, did I even deserve this? You do. I pinky promise, everybody deserves success. Everybody deserves to feel happy and content and fulfilled and, you know, achieve all of their desires. Everybody deserves that. Why wouldn't you? The last thing I want to go over is really getting a clear picture of what you want from this whole creative process. I mean, I know earlier I said not to think about what you're trying to gain from it, and that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about in regards to like, if you feel stuck as a young creative, we're going to get a clear picture on what we can do to get unstuck. I saw this TED Talk, and I'll put it somewhere in the links below, and it was how to manifest the life of your dreams, basically. I don't think that was the title, but it was something along those lines about manifesting a life that you desired. The spokesperson, what are they called? He was a professor. And he was giving this exercise on how to manifest your dream life. And it went something like this, where you envisioned 3 different life paths, all of which you want. And you can dream big on these, as big as you want. And you can also have the simplest one. I mean, it's all up to you. But you decide on 3, and then you write down your fears about them and what's really stopping you and what's scary about it and why. And really dig into like the shadow work here, you know what I mean? Like really figure out what's keeping you from living that life. And then you write down 3 actions that you can take to step into that life. 3 measurable actions. So let's say I don't have a YouTube channel, but I want to be a famous YouTuber. I'm going to make a YouTube channel. I'm going to post my first video, and then I'm going to stay consistent and post once a week. 3 actions to take. At some point, let's say you're doing your thing, you're creating your videos, you will catch some wave of success, whatever that version of success is to you. Maybe it's just the fact that you even started in the first place. Maybe it's gaining a lot of subscribers. Maybe it's getting AdSense. Let's say you're trying to go viral on TikTok. You're going to post twice a day. You're going to make sure you're doing your research daily, I guess, or every other day on popular trending hashtags, and you're going to use trending audios. Those are 3 actionable steps that will lead to a viral video. That's what I did, and I got my viral video. And also, posting times don't matter. I posted my viral video at like midnight, and the next day it went viral. So it doesn't matter what time you post. People are always on TikTok. Let's say it's something simpler, like just learning how to draw as a young creative. Let's say it's just something simple, doing your makeup. Like, you're just going to come up with 3 actionable steps that you can take to step into that life. You can apply this to anything that you're passionate about. This is just some examples that I'm providing. This could apply to learning a new skill, getting a new hobby, learning a new language, literally anything. So I'm going to leave you guys with some homework. That is going to be your homework. You're going to decide on 3 versions of your life that you would love, and you're going to write them down. And then you're going to write down your fears about them, or what's holding you back from them, what's some of the obstacles that are in the way and why. And then you're going to write down 3 actionable steps that you can take to start stepping into that life. I'm going to be doing this myself, and maybe I'll make a separate video, or maybe I'll just post it on my Instagram or TikTok, but be sure to stay tuned for my future episodes. I'm super excited about this new series. I love chit-chatting and I love giving advice, and I feel like this was really fulfilling for me. So I'm super glad that I did this finally. I have been putting it off for so long, and the title of this episode is about just starting. So ironically, here we are. Even if it's not a perfect video, I have put my effort in, and I'm gonna let the universe do its thing and hopefully find my audience. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. I really enjoyed this video, and I hope that you gained something valuable out of this. And if you are a young creative watching this, please just start. Like, there is nothing better that you could do than just starting if you haven't. And if you are already a young creative that just feels really stuck, just allow yourself to do what you like, what you enjoy, what's most fulfilling, and just keep going. Consistency is so key when it comes to this, but also allow yourself some breaks if you need them. Really listen to yourself. Being a creative is not about very much structure, to be honest, in my opinion. It's really about just allowing yourself. And yeah, I will leave it off with that. Make sure you guys follow me on all my social medias. They will be listed down below. You can find me on my Instagram at Jewel Marie, and my TikTok JujuJewelX. And yeah, subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye.